Hi everyone, delonewolf here and welcome to Eve Talk, your weekly look at the markets in Eve Online. Today's Eve Talk is probably going to go decently quickly because this is actually take 3. First take was not successful because of a mistake on my part. On the second one, the client said, well, I'm not going to work with you either, and that's why I'm here at take 3. I've actually already looked through pretty much all of it. So yeah, I should be able to go through this pretty damn quickly. Let's start off at 30 seconds with plexes, which have gone up, but not as much as some people might have expected. The new patch, Rubicon 1.3, allowed people to buy custom ship skins for Aurum, and so people did expect plexes to go up because of that, but we are looking at 642 for the buyers, 658 for the sellers. It's up a little bit, but not that much, and if you look at the chart, it's actually going down a little bit from data points at 670 and a 5-day moving average at 660. So yeah, perhaps a top could be in the works. It's very hard to say what you should do with plexes at the moment, if you still have any. Personally, and keep in mind this is an opinion, so if I could turn out to be quite wrong. I was already wrong about calling the top right here at the winter expansion. But I do think we'll see a buying opportunity between now and the next winter expansion. I think the summer expansion is going to be very important to find that opportunity. I am starting to suspect that it's not going to correct enough before the summer expansion, but that after the summer expansion might be the opportunity. This is my opinion, so if I had Plex, I would try and sell, try and get 650 million for one. And then look for that buying opportunity. But once again, I'm not sure either what plexes are going to do. They've been going against what we've seen in the last few years with this huge spike right here all the way in March. That's something I don't think we've seen before. So yeah, plexes, at least they're correcting back a little bit, and that might be good news for people that look to plex their accounts. If you look at the plexes as a barometer for activity in EVE Online though, this is actually a very good sign, and I also read this in a comment somewhere. One thing to keep in mind as well is that most virtual economies like an MMO, the general rule is for inflation, and so this could of course be an aspect as well. At every yearly spike with the winter expansion, I do expect like a markup of 10-20 million or something like that because of general inflation, and you know it could be that this is also playing a part in these very high prices here at the moment. Moving on to minerals, this one is pretty interesting. Let me show you the 1 month chart for titanium, because it's bouncing right back here at 488 and went back up towards 5 ISK. I'm also seeing over demand here, much more demand than supply, because of these big orders here, more than 1 million up to 2 million. And here it's only 2 million supply order. So this could continue. If we look at pyrite, it's a different story. That one is still going down, but luckily I am seeing some oversupply here. The bigger orders are definitely here for the buyers, 260 million, 260 million, 200 million. You get a few 100 plus million sell orders, but other than that, the supply is not keeping suit with the demand here. If I go for Mexalon here, it's also trying to come back, and interestingly enough, 5-day moving average is going to cross the 20-day moving average. On supply demand side, this is a lot more balanced, but still I think the fact that we do see this crossing here is another good sign. And if I look at Isogen here again, trying to take off from 129, which was a serious correction if you look at the 3-month chart, from 136 all the way to 129, and now going back up. And here once again we do see 5-day moving average going to cross the 20-day moving average. And supply demand, well, this big order of 70 million is of course going to put a serious floor on the price, but for the rest it's a little bit more of a balanced situation. Still, I am liking the fact that here we are seeing these charts cross, and that could be, in my opinion, a good sign that demand is there for the high-sec minerals, and they might just be going up a little bit, meaning a little bit more profit for high-sec miners. On the nullsec, the rare mineral front, it's a little different. You can see megasite spiking back up quite significantly. If I show you guys a 6-month chart, you can definitely see how it's been spiking quite heavily. The supply demand analysis, I think, is not working too well, just because it's generally the supply side, the sell orders, that are dictating the price. If you look at Zydrine here as well, that one is a little bit more stable after its correction on the 1-month chart. Though you are seeing it is trying to go up as well, and so it's hard to tell a general trend in these, although I would say they are generally going up as well, which could be a good sign for the other minerals. But one thing to keep in mind, if you look at supply demand here, you could say that there is a lot of supply here for the Zydrine, and so that prices might be going down. Well, no, actually here 3 million, 1 million, but it's much more balanced than that. The real problem is that most of the volume here, you can see volume around 20 million units of Zydrine being sold every single day, is going to come from the sell order side. This is definitely the part of the charts that dictate the price, is mostly the sell orders, just because most people, for stuff like Zydrine, like megasite, they bring it to the market, put up their sell order, and then leave. People that need megasite or Zydrine, they come to the market, buy it straight away, take it back, and manufacture what they need to do with it. And so this is why the supply demand analysis for these minerals, same with Morphite here, is a lot harder to do. And Morphite at the moment, well, it went up and then it's going back down a little bit as well. Overall for the month, pretty much stable for Morphite, I would say. But yeah, I think the mineral market, especially this titanium chart, is pretty interesting for the high-sec ones. I am seeing a little bit more demand than supply, and so prices might actually start to take off in the next few weeks. The Take 1 chips, these were pretty interesting as well. The Drake was moving sideways in the last week or so, I would say. Interestingly enough, we have a few bigger buy orders here. Look at that, 20, 20, 10, 19, 10. All of these very recent at 44,890 million. So 44.8 million. That's not insignificant. This is about 100 of them being bought. That's pretty much the daily average in volume. This must be a big player, probably an alliance or something, that is actually investing a little bit in some Drakes, and this is going to help the price a little bit. So that's definitely already a unique one. The Maelstrom definitely went up for the entire month from 181 to 191. That's a pretty significant movement. On supply demand, it's pretty much in balance. You've got a big order of 10 here, you get a big sell order of 10 here as well. So the interesting part here is that the action has gone towards the sellers markets, where people are actively buying Maelstroms from the market for whatever reason. And so this is why we're actually seeing the price here hitting pretty much what the sell orders are asking for Maelstroms. Then the Omen, that's completely different situation, because that one's been going down for the entire month. It's trying to spike back up, but what I am seeing is a lot of oversupply here. 22, 23, 10, 10 coming in. You get 10 and 21 being bought, but the overall picture is obviously one of oversupply. Next up, we'll have a look here at the rock. That supply demand is pretty much balanced. Despite that, the rock is spiking up a little bit. That could be due to the ship paintings. The rock is one of them that you can actually grab a BPC, grab a rock, and make a special version of the rock. So that could be why this price is spiking in the last week, but I'm seeing a balanced supply-demand situation for the rock. And then the Talos went clearly down for the entire month, started moving sideways, but on this one I'm still seeing oversupply 16, 11, 12, 15, 36. On the buy order side, it's way smaller. Most of the orders are below 10. All of them are in fact 10 or lower than that. So every single Take 1 chip seems to be doing its own thing a little bit. The Drake knew this spike in demand here, and so prices will probably go up. The Maelstrom looks stable, but has been going up for the entire month. They're all doing their own thing, so it doesn't look like they're hard. Like the correlation between the Take 1 chips and the minerals is all too hard at the moment, and I thought that was actually pretty interesting. On the Take 2 market, also there was some interesting stuff. Look at that, the absolution, very nice spike. What I'm going to do here is go for the 6 months chart just to show you guys some of the evolutions in these Take 2 ships, which I personally look to for trading. So it was continually going down, and I was always very skittish of investing in the absolutions, but once they started hitting below 190, if you had managed to buy them, you've probably done a very good deal, because now sell orders are 199, so that's definitely a nice, well, what would that be, close to 185, 50 million markup in just a few weeks. But it is the first spike in the absolution in a long time, and so for that reason it was a little bit risky to invest in them. Still, at this downturn here was the correct move to start buying some. The Astarte is just too stable at the moment. I would not really invest anything in there. The Claymore, however, is again a pretty interesting one. Look at that. Stayed well below 205 million for the entire month, and now spiking up to 223 million for the sell orders. That's significant, I think. And on this chart, on the 6 month chart one, you can see spikes here just before the winter expansion, but then a stable downtrend and then a pretty stable market. Still, for the 6 month chart, it was at the lowest point here. So if you've managed to buy some Claymores on the buy orders over this period, you've done a very good thing. Because now you can actually start to list them and start competing here for the sell orders. But those are starting at 223, so those are those trade opportunities that I look for in the Tech 2 market. And looking for that stable bottom is often a good sign that you might want to invest some medium to longer term ISK. The Damnation, however, that's what you want for active trading. Look at those two beautiful spikes here, then back down to 215, and now working once again on a new spike, 243 for the sell orders in here. All of this is since January, and this is a lot of trade money that went in and out. A lot of people have made a lot of money and have lost a lot of money, and if you're an active trader, this is something that you really are looking for. These are great opportunities with big swings of 20, 30, maybe even 40 million ISK in a matter of days and weeks. Those are the great trading opportunities. The EOS, a little bit too stable, but here again you are seeing this downtrend, and that it's actually close to an all-time low, or to a 6 month low, I should say, for the EOS. So maybe here again for medium term investment, if you're looking for an opportunity to grab one of these Claymore opportunities or this absolution spike here after a sustained downtrend, no, the EOS might just be close to that situation. And the Guardian, I like this as well. A lot of spiking in the last 6 months, and here again a very new one. So if you manage to buy them on buy orders close to 140, you're currently looking at sell orders of 155 million ISK, 50 million, a nice 10% markup. That's not bad. What I really like about this as well is that the buy orders have actually followed. They're coming in at 150. So if 2 weeks ago, or just at the start of March, end of February, you had bought some Guardians, you're looking quite nice at the moment. The Nighthawk, unfortunately, it's number one, too stable, and it's not at the lowest point in 6 months. So I would just forget about the Nighthawk for now. It needs to correct a little bit more for me. The Sleipnir, very nice spike here, 215 to 260. That's 45 million ISK. That's probably around 20%. The buy orders have followed suit as well. So if you had invested in Sleipnirs here, great opportunity for selling them at the moment. And then the Vulture, that one is an in-between one, also a pretty interesting one. It's just too stable. You're not seeing the huge spikes here, but again here we have a sustained downtrend. Unfortunately, not at the lowest point in 6 months, but it's coming close to where I would say maybe for long-term investment, a few Vultures on the buy order side of things could be a profitable move. But yeah, the Tech 2 market, I definitely like the Damnation chart here. That's just beautiful. The Guardian is doing quite well as well, and you're actually seeing stuff like the Absolution and the Claymore showing that they actually do have opportunities in them if you know when to buy. That's actually probably going to be the most important part. If you know when to buy and you're a little bit patient with some of these trades, you're looking at some very nice profits. On the Tech 3 front, 1515, actually forgot to write down a few, but that's okay. There is oversupply in the Legion. Look at that, dropping below 135. That's extremely low. Oversupply is clear here. The latest order is 41 units at the new lowest price on the sell orders. Same with the Tengu here, again dropping towards 130, which is really not a lot for a Tengu, and 23 units coming on the market despite that. So the oversupply is obvious here. The Proteus and the Loki, though, they've tried a little spike here for the Proteus, and then the Loki tried and is already on its way back down. So it does seem that from time to time supply does dry up in Jita, and people can actually go up a few million, 5 maybe 6 million, but as we've seen in the last few weeks and months, this is usually short-lived. By next week, honestly, I'm expecting 20 30 Lokis to come back to the market, same with the Proteus, and this price to come right back down towards the 135 130 million price band. So I think this is all going to be short-lived. Generally oversupply in Tech 3 ships, I'm still seeing it. For the melted nanoribbons, I'm happy to report that those are going back towards 4 million ISK. That's not bad, and a bit of a more normal price for melted nanoribbons after dropping as low as 3.6 million ISK. If you look at the 1 year chart, here we go, that's actually pretty damn low. I would have expected this to be, well, to not be quite so low. This is a serious downtrend, a serious correction in the last year or so for melted nanoribbons, and this is actually a counter argument to the oh well, it's general inflation in the game. Look at the Tech 3 market. It's pretty obvious that we've had some serious deflation in the Tech 3 market in the last year or so, and so a general inflation picture is not that easy to make overall. So yeah, Tech 3's still oversupplied. And then finally I'm going to end with those special ship-skinned ships here. So for that I need to go to the standard battleships. The Abaddon Cador edition, that one is decently interesting because there's actually quite a few coming to the market for 308 million ISK. Honestly, it's probably the best looking one. Look at that, it's just a really beautiful ship. But 308 million is nothing too special. Grab an Abaddon hull of 220 million, add in the Oran price, and it's not a lot of margin here. All these ships actually are showing decent prices, nothing really out of the ordinary. 288 for a Rock Nugovi edition. The Hyperion 232, you know, that's nothing. Excuse me, 250 350 here. Okay, the Hyperion is maybe the exception because there's only one on the market from 232. That's a decent markup, but people will see this opportunity, fill this gap, and I do expect that this is going to become quite a normal market. 310 for a Maelstrom Cruisewall edition, normal Maelstrom 191. There's a bit of a margin here because there are not that many, but it's going to close quite rapidly and normalize quite rapidly. With the frigates, let's have a quick look at those. Frigates standards, 8.3 million. The Caldari one is 8.5 million. The Galente one is 9 million, and then the Minmatar one, the Rifter Cruisewall edition, is also 9 million. This is pretty much normal, you know, the frigates are not very expensive. Just add the Oran price and maybe a little bit of a margin, but it's really not that much. And so yeah, this new ship skin market looks to me like it's not super attractive to all the players, unlike, let's say, the Sisters of Eve ships, which started off ridiculously high, then came down to really very expensive and are now actively being pushed down by CCP by adding new avenues of making loyalty points for them. Over here I'm seeing something that normalizes in a matter of days, and so it's not like people are going completely ballistic over these specially skin ships, which I think is normal personally. Yeah, we'll see just normal prices for the hull plus the Orem, maybe a few million for the battleships and a few 100,000 ISK for the Rifters, but nothing too special here. This feels like normal prices for the products that are being offered, and it also does show that anything coming to the store is being seeded on the market by the players extremely quickly. If it's available easily, players will actually just flood the market with it and start 0.1 isking each other very quickly, which you can clearly see here on the sell orders of this Rifter Cruise Wall edition. So yep, there you go guys, that's it for this EVE talk. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.